Hello all, this is a coral growth video. I have a time lapse to share with you that covers about a year's worth of growth, first starting at my old townhouse and then about 8 months after the move to the new house. I have comparison photos, I have some focus points, I have some full tank shots over that time, and what this isn't is a system tour video. That is a separate video that I uploaded a couple of weeks ago, and I put the link to that in the description. So if you want to see all about the system, par levels, and things like that, you can go check that video out. Without further ado, here is the time lapse.
Now, buying a tank at this point was a little bit stupid if I'm being honest. I was living in a rental townhouse and I was building my new house and I knew that I'd be moving in just a couple of months. But when this came up on Craigslist, the deal was too good to ignore. So I did it knowing that I'd be setting up the tank for a short period of time. This picture you're looking at is the day that it was set up in my townhouse. So we jumped from here to a month later. You can see the date on the top here. The tank is starting to settle in. I've got some corals in there. Things are doing relatively well. Here we have, again, still in the townhouse, still with the same layout, still bare bottom. The tank's starting to clean up a lot. The algae's getting a lot better. And then here is when I got the house and moved the tank. This was pretty traumatic. The corals all took a little bit of a step back in the move. We got it over here. It was a lot of work, but for the most part, everything made it. There was almost no losses, actually. So you can see here that I cut up the coral, the staghorn coral, into a number of pieces. The reason I did that was that it actually started to RTN right after the move, and my best bet was to chop it up and spread it about the tank to see if I could find somewhere that it liked. Surprisingly, all the frags actually live. So from here, that was, by the way, in April of 2021. We jump into May of 2021, and you can see here on the green staghorn corals at the top, we've got some growth going. And the parts where they were dying back have started to heal over. It's fantastic. And now I have my sand back. I love sand, to be honest. This is August. You can see a big jump in growth in everything. Keep an eye on the top right on this Anacropora. This guy is a quick grower. Does not disappoint. Here we jump just a couple of months. Look at how stuff has started to take off as the tank has stabilized. Up in the top left, right in front of the overflow box here, that's a Maleficent, and it has just lived up to its name between these time points. And the Anacropora on the right-hand side, same thing. Right in front of the Anacropora there is a frog skin, an ORA frog skin, and that one just exploded as well. Not to mention your normal caps and digis, which are all fast growers, as we know. Here we jump forward about 2 more months into December, and look at these staghorns and the frog skin. The Anacropora moves, but it has turned into, it has doubled in size in 2 months, which is really incredible. And the Polypora is doing amazing too. That guy has started putting little Polypora babies all over the tank, by the way. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. The tricolor up here is really taking off, but notice how much lighter almost everything seems to have gotten between these points, especially that tricolor. You can really see how it lost quite a bit of color. I did a number of lighting upgrades. I was finally getting things the way I wanted them, but I actually started to fight low nitrates, and I didn't know it because my test kits were long expired, and I had good phosphates, and it looked like I had good nitrates, and I kind of lost track of that. We'll get to that story in just a little bit here. And now we jump forward to, this is the day I'm actually recording this. This is 2022, January 21st, and you can see a little bit more color back in the tricolor. By the way, I mean, between these 2 points, the growth has still continued to be excellent. The frog skin, the Anacropora, they're just doing incredible. The Maleficent, unfortunately, I was blasting some algae off the live rock and kind of hit it there, knocked a couple of branches off, so it doesn't look like it did good, but it is actually continuing to grow well. And this Rainbow Monopora, or the Rainbow Millie, right in the front, has also been a good grower through all of this. If you watch that guy just right sort of dead center there explode, it's pretty incredible. Now, I have purchased a nitrate test kit and found out my nitrates were actually 0 when they were testing quite a bit higher. And I corrected that about 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, I may have waited a little long or done it a little quick, because you can see there's a couple of dead frags in there. Unfortunately, those frags never honestly did all that well in my system, so it's, not heartbreaking. They've been in there like a year, and those particular frags just haven't grown. I've experienced that before. Sometimes a frag just doesn't like your system no matter where you put it. Those were some of them, and they never really took off. And so it's sad that they died, but not surprisingly, they were the first ones to kind of go when the system had a little bit of instability. I'm working on getting this back under control, but let me flip to another image here, and I'll show you something about what the nitrate has done to the color in this tank. These 2 images were taken by the SLR mounted above my cabinetry. They are exactly 1 week apart, and these images are auto-created every day. I have a Raspberry Pi that's configured to do this for me, so I can kind of check in on the color and growth of the tank. Now, about 1 week ago, I had discovered that my nitrate was low, and I made the correction. I bought nitrate in a bottle, and I dosed it. In the very beginning, the system used the nitrate extremely, extremely quickly. I couldn't put enough in. I was putting in 10 ppm a day, and it was 0 by the time I'd get home at the end of the day. If you take a look at the tricolor Acropora here, do you see how it deepens up in just 1 week? You can't see a ton of growth here, although if you look at the Polypora, you can see it grows a little bit, tricolor grows a little bit. A couple of things do, but for the most part, the most significant change is in the tricolor's coloration. If you look at the Millie, the Rainbow Millie, it also gets substantially richer color in just 7 days. I didn't realize this was happening until I reviewed this data, and I know this is not what the video is about, but it was so interesting, I just wanted to point it out. Another thing that's interesting, as I made such a massive change to the tank, bringing my nitrate that had been at 0 for probably a very long time up to 10 parts per million. Look at the Milka Stylo here at the very bottom right corner. Before, it had fairly pronounced growth tips, and in a week, they've disappeared. The alkalinity uptake of the tank has also changed dramatically. I dosed Triton to this system, and I was dosing 80 milliliters of alkalinity per day. That's 2 parts mixed together. I mix both elks together and dose double of it. So I was using 80 milliliters. Now I'm down to 60 or maybe even 55 to maintain my desired elk levels. So making a change like this has had a substantial impact to the tank, not just losing a couple of frags that were always sort of barely hanging on, but it's impacted growth throughout the tank and had a very positive effect on color already. Just to be clear, I don't think the nitrates will continue to affect growth, but I think that the instability has knocked all of the corals just a little bit off of their game. And I think in a couple of weeks here, the growth is going to come back faster, actually, than it was before. This image is meant just for fun. This one shows 2 months of growth. These images are 60 days apart, and it ends in November, and so it's about 2 months old. I would show you the current one, but I accidentally bumped the camera, and so this one looks a lot cleaner. I'm going to continue to take these pictures, and I'm going to continue to make YouTube videos probably every 3 or 6 months showing the most current growth. And once this color thing gets sorted out, I might even put something up if there's anything worth showing. So do yourself a favor, go ahead and subscribe so you'll see the new videos when you come out, and please do me a favor and like the video. It's nice to see that people enjoy it. I'm going to close the video out by playing a growth time lapse one more time. Enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.